Welcome back to the Tips to Survive series, where we tackle survival scenarios so wild they make jumping out of an airplane seem like stepping off a curb. If you've been with us before, you know the drill. We dig deep into the art of staying alive in the most bizarre, dangerous, and occasionally ridiculous situations imaginable. Today, we've lined up something truly epic for you. A guide that pits you against one of mythology's fiercest creatures in one of the trickiest settings ever conceived. So, lace up your adventure boots, sharpen your wits, and let's dive into surviving a close encounter with a Minotaur in the winding, confounding corridors of a deadly maze. Whether you're here for serious survival tips or just for a wild ride through mythical mayhem, you're in the right place. Buckle up. It's going to be a monstrous ride. Tip 1. Know your terrain. Becoming a maze master. Let's kick this off with the first rule in the Minotaur Survival Guide. Know your damn terrain. Imagine you're dropped into the love child of an IKEA floor plan and a bad acid trip. Welcome to the Minotaur's Labyrinth. This isn't your grandma's garden maze. It's a twisted nightmare designed by someone who probably thought MC Escher was a bit too straightforward. Before you even think about playing hide-and-seek with our horned horror, arm yourself with a map. Not just any scribbled napkin will do. You need the blueprint, 3D modeled and app-supported. Study it like you're prepping for the zombie apocalypse, and this is the only grocery store left on Earth. You should be able to navigate this maze blindfolded, backward, and hopping on one foot. Here's a pro tip. Always know where the exits are, just like at a bad family reunion. And remember, if the walls start moving and shifting like you're in a Harry Potter movie, don't freak out. It's just the Minotaur's idea of a practical joke. Keep your cool, whip out your compass, and whatever you do, don't trust the Minotaur's Yelp reviews on the quickest ways out. So, gear up with your sturdiest sneakers, maybe download a labyrinth running app, if that's a thing, and for the love of all that is holy, bring snacks. Nothing's worse than solving riddles on an empty stomach while a mythical beast is trying to turn you into mincemeat. Trust me, being hangry could literally get you killed here. Tip 2. Silence is your ally. Sneaky does it. The second golden rule for not becoming Minotaur munchies. Be as silent as a ninja on a library date. This hulking, horn-headed monster has ears that can pick up the sound of a pin drop or the clink of your terrified, chattering teeth. So unless you want to become the beast's next chew toy, keep it down. Slap some duct tape on those squeaky shoes, because every sound is like sending a tweet directly to Mr. Hornface with your exact GPS coordinates. And let's be honest, tweeting your location to a Minotaur is about as smart as posting your home address on your Instagram bio. Here's where it gets spicy. If you must communicate, think about using those old spy codes or develop a system of hand signals. Imagine you're orchestrating a heist in Ocean's 11, only with higher stakes and less Brad Pitt. Use anything from exaggerated eye rolls to signal this is a terrible idea, to interpretive dance, to indicate run for your freaking life. And remember, if you absolutely have to sneeze, you better stuff your face into something absorbent, because in this game, a sneeze isn't just a sneeze, it's a dinner bell. So, stay quiet, stay sneaky, and maybe, just maybe, you'll stay off the menu. Tip 3. Understand the beast. Know your enemy. If you're planning to outsmart a Minotaur, you'd better know what makes him tick. This isn't just some bull-headed monster. Think of him as your worst ex. Unpredictable, surprisingly smart, and with a grudge bigger than his horns. First off, remember that the Minotaur isn't just a muscle-bound beast. He's also got the cunning of a chess grandmaster in beast mode. Does he patrol at certain times like a mall cop on a Segway? Is he particularly territorial around that creepy, oversized bone throne in the center of the maze? Get the dirt on his habits, because knowledge is power, and in this case, it's also a solid survival strategy. And here's the kicker. The Minotaur might have a weakness, maybe something as classic as a preference for jazz music, or as weird as an aversion to the smell of peppermint. Whatever it is, use it to your advantage. It could be the difference between a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek and getting out with your guts still inside your body. So strap on your detective hat, maybe swipe a Minotaur fact sheet from the local Monster Hunters Guild, Or maybe inquire with Lucas Moore? And study up like you're prepping for the weirdest biology exam of your life. After all, knowing your enemy could turn your terrifying labyrinth sprint into a walk in the park. Well, sort of. Tip 4. Equip properly. Gear up or give up. Next up in our Minotaur survival saga, gear up like you're headed to an audition for Survivor, Mythical Maze Edition. Think beyond the basic sword and shield. This is the time to get creative with your arsenal. First things first, arm yourself with a spear. Yes, a spear. Why? Because when it comes to a 7-foot snorting beast with a face only a mother could love, you'll want something that keeps him at arm's length. Make that 2 arms length. And let's be honest, a pointy stick gives you that ancient warrior vibe, which is always cool on Instagram. Now, don't forget your utility belt. Batman had the right idea. Stock it with gadgets that would make Q from James Bond jealous. Smoke bombs for a quick getaway, mirrors to peek around corners, or check your hair because priorities. And maybe a good old-fashioned grappling hook because why the hell not? And since we're in the 21st century, don't overlook the power of tech. A portable drone can give you aerial views of the maze. Just make sure it's set to silent mode. See tip 2. And for those moments when you're utterly lost, a GPS tracker might just save your bacon. Just remember, if the battery dies, you better hope your ancient spear-wielding skills aren't just for show. Gear up smart, and remember, in a labyrinth with a Minotaur, it's not just about fighting. It's about surviving with style, and a whole lot of gadgetry. Tip 5. Light and shadow. Master the art of illumination. Navigating a maze with a monstrous Minotaur requires more than just guts and gadgets. It demands an Oscar-worthy performance in the art of lighting. When you're playing this high-stakes game of cat and mouse, or human and Minotaur, knowing how to manipulate light and shadow can be your ticket to surviving another day. First off, pack a reliable flashlight, something that won't flicker out when you most need it. But remember, while light is your guide, it's also a glaring beacon announcing your exact location. Use your flashlight sparingly. Think of it like a secret weapon, only to be revealed at the climax of a thriller. Now, let's talk shadows. Shadows are your best friends in this eerie dance of death. They're the perfect hiding spots, the silent allies that hug you tight and hide you from those beastly eyes. Learn to move with the shadows, glide through them like some kind of supernatural ninja. Every corner you turn, every pillar you pass, use them to blend, to disappear, to become part of the darkness. But here's a twist. Use sudden bursts of light to disorient our horn-headed fiend. A flashbang, a flare, even a good old camera flash could stun the Minotaur long enough for you to make a run for it. It's like throwing a surprise party. Only the guest of honor wants to gore you. So, equip your toolkit with both light and shadow. Become a master illusionist, a veritable Houdini of the labyrinth. Remember, in the game of hide-and-seek with a Minotaur, illumination isn't just about seeing. It's about not being seen. Tip 6. Distractions are key. The art of misdirection. When you're in a Minotaur's maze, being sneaky isn't just a strategy. It's a way of life. So, for our 6th survival tip, let's delve into the essential art of misdirection. Think of yourself as a magician, where every distraction is a sleight of hand that keeps you one step ahead of being gored. Start simple. Carrying a handful of rocks or marbles isn't just for old-school fairy tales. These little noisemakers can be lifesavers. Toss one down an adjoining corridor and watch as your horned pursuer lumbers off after the sound, giving you a chance to slip away or double back on your path to freedom. Next level? Try a portable speaker. Set it playing on loop some tantalizingly annoying pop song. Think Baby Shark. Hide it under a pile of debris in a dead-end passage and let it work its magic, leading the Minotaur on a merry chase while you head in the opposite direction. Just make sure the volume's cranked up enough to mask your movements, but not your chuckles. And don't forget the visual tricks. A quick flash of light, as mentioned in tip 5, or a makeshift dummy fashioned from clothes and a mop head can create a convincing enough human figure to fool even the sharpest beast. Place it strategically, give it a pat, and then sprint away as it takes the brunt of the Minotaur's confusion. Remember, In the labyrinth, your brain is your best weapon. Use these distractions like a chess master, always thinking 3 moves ahead, and you might just outwit the Minotaur with flair and finesse. Who knew that survival could be so cunningly crafty? Tip 7. Do not underestimate. Respect the beast. Let's get serious for a minute here. If there's one thing you don't want to do in the presence of a massive, horned, killing machine, it's underestimate its abilities. This isn't your average bull in a china shop. This is a bull that can, and will, demolish not only the china, but also the shop, the shopping center, and anything else in its path. The Minotaur isn't just muscle and menace. It's got the smarts of a creature that's been the warden of its labyrinthine prison for ages. It knows every shortcut, every shadowy niche, and every echo in its domain. So, while you're busy plotting escape routes and distractions, remember that this beast is 2 steps ahead, sniffing out your scent and listening for your heartbeats. Here's the deal. Treat every decision as if it's a matter of life or death, because frankly, it is. Second guessing is not an option when you're playing tag with a creature whose mere glance can spell doom. If you think you found a sneaky shortcut or a clever hiding spot, assume the Minotaur has known about it for centuries. So, while you lace up those sneakers and tighten your grip on that spear, keep one thing in mind. Respect the beast. Your life depends not just on your ability to run or hide, but on your ability to think like the Minotaur, anticipate its moves, respect its intelligence, and maybe, just maybe, you'll live to tell the tale of how you outsmarted the myth itself. Tip 8. Stay calm. Keep your cool in the chaos. All right, here comes the Zen part of our Minotaur survival guide. Staying calm. Sure, it might sound a bit like advising you to chill out on a roller coaster that's lost its brakes, but hear me out. Keeping a level head is crucial when every shadow could be hiding a horned behemoth ready to charge. Imagine this. You're deep in the labyrinth, your heart's hammering like a drum solo at a rock concert, and every slight noise spikes your adrenaline. Panic? That's the Minotaur's best friend. Cool as a cucumber? That's your new mantra. How do you keep calm? Start with deep breaths. Think yoga deep, not I just ran for my life, panting. Remind yourself that panic scrambles your brain. It makes you loud, it makes you obvious, and worst of all, it makes you slow. None of which are great when you're trying to outsmart a creature with a head built like a battering ram. Here's a pro tip. Practice mindfulness. No, really, visualize your path, anticipate challenges, and mentally rehearse your strategies. It's like playing a video game where you can respawn. Except, in this game, there are no second chances. Keep your emotions in check, your movements deliberate, and your decisions sharp. By staying calm, you not only increase your chances of survival, you also set yourself up to take advantage of opportunities when they arise, like that unguarded exit you noticed because you weren't panicking. So breathe in, breathe out, and keep your wits about you. Surviving a Minotaur might just be the ultimate test of your chill. Tip 9. Find the hero within. Time for heroics. This is it. The moment in our survival saga where you need to channel your inner hero. Yes, you've been sneaking, strategizing, and staying silent, but sometimes the labyrinth throws a curveball so big, your only option is to step up to the plate. When the Minotaur corners you and all your sneaky tricks and careful plans fall apart, that's when you dig deep and find your inner Luke Skywalker facing down the Death Star. Or, given our scenario, a big bad bull in a very twisted star maze. Heroic doesn't mean foolhardy. It means being ready to make bold moves when they count the most. Maybe that involves a daring leap over a trap, a calculated risk to distract the beast longer, or even a confrontation when escape routes are blocked. Think of it like the climax of every epic movie you've ever seen. This is your blockbuster moment. Equip yourself mentally for this. Visualize yourself not just as a survivor, but as a protagonist in your own epic tale. Are you going to be the one who froze under pressure? Heck no! You're going to be the one who did something so incredibly bold and brave, even the Minotaur will stop to applaud before resuming its chase, because let's not get too carried away with fantasy here. So, When push comes to shove, and you're looking a 7-foot beast in the eye, remember, this is your story. Make it count. Pull out all the stops, summon every ounce of courage you have, and show that labyrinth who's boss. After all, heroes aren't born. They're cornered. Tip 10. The exit strategy. Plan your great escape. We've navigated through tricks, tactics, and a whole lot of tiptoeing, but all good and terrifying things must come to an end. Your final play in the Minotaur Survival Guide is arguably the most crucial, the exit strategy. Because no matter how thrilling the chase, the goal is to make it out alive and have one hell of a story to tell at parties. First up, always be aware of your exits. You've mapped this maze. You know the twists and turns, but keeping a mental note of the nearest way out can make the difference between becoming a Minotaur snack and making a heroic dash to freedom. This isn't just about finding the exit. It's about knowing when to bolt for it. Timing is everything. Watch for the Minotaur's patterns. Perhaps it pauses at certain spots, distracted by its own reflection, or, God forbid, it takes a nap. These are your moments. Prepare yourself to move fast, move silently, and move with purpose. Remember all those drills in gym class you complained about? Well, they're about to pay off. Pack light, but pack smart. Your load should be light enough to run with, but equipped enough to survive if things go south. A bottle of water, energy bars, and your trusty spear should be at the top of the list. And maybe throw in a good luck charm, because, let's face it, a little extra luck couldn't hurt. As you make that final sprint, the wind in your hair, the echoes of your footsteps bouncing off the ancient stone walls, let the adrenaline fuel you, but keep your head clear. The exit is just ahead. You've planned for this. You're ready. So run like the wind, escape like a pro, and live to brag about the day you outsmarted a Minotaur. After all, escaping a labyrinth with your limbs intact, that's the stuff of legends. And that's a wrap on our Minotaur Maze Marathon. If you've enjoyed this thrilling guide to sidestepping danger, outsmarting mythical beasts, and sprinting through ancient labyrinths, don't forget to hit that like button. It's as vital as your trusty map in these labyrinthine adventures. Feel like part of the crew? Then why not comment below with your own tips, tricks, or close calls with mythical creatures? We love hearing from our fellow survival enthusiasts, and your story just might be the key to someone else's successful escape. And if you really want to join the inner circle of maze masters and mythical monster experts, consider subscribing and becoming a channel member. Channel members get exclusive access to sneak peeks of upcoming adventures, behind-the-scenes content, and special survival tips that we only share with our closest allies in the art of staying alive. So, arm yourself with knowledge, equip yourself with courage, and maybe toss in a little bit of that legendary luck. Thanks for joining us on this epic survival journey. Until next time, keep your wits sharp and your exits clearer. Stay safe out there. And remember, every escape is a story waiting to be told. See you in the next one.